Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 3. Nigama kalpa taror galitam phalam shukhamukhadam ritadrava sangyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Translation. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad-Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Shukadev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Purport, now the last paragraph of this text. One should conclude, therefore, that the serious student of the rasa should receive the message of Bhagavatam in the chain of disciplic succession from Srila Shukadev Goswami, who describes the Bhagavatam from its very beginning, and not whimsically to satisfy the mundaner who has very little knowledge in the transcendental science. Srimad-Bhagavatam is so carefully presented that a sincere and serious person can at once enjoy the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge simply by drinking the nectarian juice through the mouth of Shukadev Goswami or his bona fide representative. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaura Vani Pracharine Nirvishesh Ashwinivadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nigama kalpataror garitam phalam shukhamukhad amrita davasamyutam pibata bhagavatam rasam alayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad-Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukadev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. The purport begins with the word, one should conclude, therefore. So conclusion is coming here because this whole purport is discussing about the subject of rasa in different ways, what it is, how to attain it, how to become qualified, etc. And so here it's concluding, therefore, a serious student should receive the message in Bhagavatam through disciplic succession. It's saying serious student, because everyone approaches Bhagavatam for different purposes, they have different aims. They'll sit in any speaker's class who's simply gratifying their senses, some sort of pious sense gratification, not going out to enjoy in some materialistic place, but they're approaching Bhagavatam, that's also, they're trying to get some enjoyment from that. Yes, it is enjoyable, but not in that way that we think, not on that level, not on the mental level that I'm hearing this Leela, that Leela of Krishna in some esoteric pastime. So Prabhupada said, a serious student who wants to know Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam means knowledge in relation to Bhagavan. So who wants to know Bhagavan, his activities? Who wants to connect to Bhagavan and understand him properly and his relation to him? The serious student, it's saying. He should understand the Bhagavatam in disciplic succession from Srila Shukadev Goswami, who describes Bhagavatam from the very beginning, not whimsically, not according to his whim and desire, but how he heard it. How did he hear it? He heard it from Vyas. Vyas heard it from Narad. Narad from Brahma. And all of it was presented very systematically from the basic knowledge first. Like now, text 3 is speaking of this rasa. But before that, text 1 and 2, we read, but how much did we get? And we had to absorb that before coming to that. But for knowledge purpose, we are reading, going through all this. But to actually attain it, we had to absorb text 1. How long will that take? Text 1 to absorb. Each letter, each word is for benefit of human society. It's packed with such a deep meaning, which it will be revealed according to our consciousness. Therefore, we read Bhagavatam, at the same time we practice bhakti, take shelter of pure devotees, serve pure devotees, and pray that it will be revealed. Otherwise, we are reading, hearing, but it's not being revealed fully. So the verses are there, but the knowledge is not being revealed. That's the issue. So one who is serious that I want to attain it, there is a procedure. It's being outlined very clearly here by Srila Prabhupada, the bona fide Bhagavat, Mahabhagavat, who is presenting Bhagavatam in this stage for us. We hear many times that we are not meant to have material desires. We are not meant to have desires other than to serve Krishna. So now here we're talking about relishing rasa, enjoying rasa, enjoying rasa. Then what is that? Why are we doing that? Shouldn't we just be serving Krishna? Shouldn't we think about satisfying Sri Guru? Yes, that is the position of the jiva. But so is it right or wrong to desire to relish Srimad-Bhagavatam? I want to relish Srimad-Bhagavatam. I want to enter into Krishna. I want to be able to read it and be in bliss, reading, understanding everything. Is that wrong? Because is it material? We're not meant to be trying to satisfy ourselves. And also, why is this an issue at all? Bhagavatam discusses Bhagavan and his attributes, and now we are talking about relishing rasa. Here it is, and whole purports are being dedicated to that. So why do we speak about this? But the fact is, the jiva has to relish rasa. He has to. He is always in a state where he'll be getting some form of enjoyment, some taste for what he does. Otherwise, he won't do it. That is the position of the jiva, because he is Angsh of Rasik Shekhar, the expert person, expert in relishing rasa, Krishna, Shekhar. He is expert. But this verse is appealing to Rasikas. Rasika means one who relishes rasa. Everyone is Rasik. Everyone wants to relish rasa. Jivas are looking for rasa. Jivas are looking for happiness. Jivas are looking for some sort of peace, harmony, balance. We are looking for that. So Bhagavatam is saying, okay, come here, you will get it. And so if we think, okay, it's speaking about rasa, enjoying rasa, yes. Anyway, we are doing that. Anyway, that's what we are looking for. Some ended up looking for it and coming here. Good, because this is where it is. Others went elsewhere, to the water park, looking for happiness, or to the bar. But that's not where it is. How to know that? Where is it? You have to understand intellectually, intelligently understand what is this and what is that, properly understand it, understand the philosophy, then you can make a good decision. Otherwise, like a child, what decision will we make? Now it's fashionable. Before, children were dealt with harshly. Harshly is not so, beaten with a rod, not like that. But okay, don't give him freedom and ask him, what do you want? Child has to be taught what to do. He's a child, should not be left independent. He should be told what to do. So nowadays the fashion is, so what do you want to do? Shall we go here or shall we go there? What do you want to do with your money? Do you want to buy some sweets or do you want to buy? I want to buy sweets. Why should I? Child wants to buy sweets. Why should he want to buy a book? So before, children were not given that independence. They were told, you do this, you do that. It's up to him whether he wants to be Krishna conscious. Let him grow up and decide. He's a child, he'll not make any proper decision. thereafter satisfying their senses. So, even now, the jiva should not be left to decide, what rasa to enjoy. He's whimsical, he'll go for whatever quick satisfaction. Quick satisfaction means what? For body, prayer. Shreya, prayer. Shreya means what is good in the long term, may not be so good now, satisfying. Prayer means immediate happiness. Eat anything just on the road, some whatever smelling good, and it's on the thela, you can eat it, it's smelling good, but quickly satisfied senses. But what about long term? What effect will that have on the mind and on the body? So jiva is immature. He shouldn't now make a decision in that way. He can't. He should follow Shastra. Shastra is telling him what to do. But it looks difficult. It's difficult, but it's more difficult to be in material world and have material body and suffer. That is difficult. It's not difficult to deny the senses something that they want. That is not so hard. Difficult. We had to, as Krishna very beginning in Gita established how if you want to practice spiritual life in this material world, tam titikshasva bharata, tolerate the difficulty. If you want to actually get that priceless commodity. So here it's speaking about rasa. Jiva has to relish rasa, but if he doesn't have this knowledge, he will go for the wrong rasa. Anyway, he'll enjoy. He will find his way to enjoy, but that will not really be enjoyment. That is the problem. That is not enjoyment. What enjoyment will he get? He'll get jada rasa. It's not enjoyment, it is not real, and it is illusory and temporary. None of these will satisfy. It's not satisfying at all. So the jiva then, he'll not be satisfied. He'll not be peaceful. He'll not be in harmony with himself and this surrounding and this material world. Let's put that volume. So he'll not be peaceful. He's going to be constantly disturbed, just like somebody. He's convinced that if I do this activity, I'll be happy. And I'm not getting it, so I am so disturbed, not getting it. He'll be disturbed. He cannot function. So jiva cannot function properly now in this world because he's not happy. He's not peaceful. Constant state of anxiety, and actually he's looking for rasa, Bhagavatam. He doesn't know that. That's what he's looking for. So the jiva, being ignorant of the real substance, ignorant of that, he has come for the stool. Like a pig. Pig doesn't have knowledge. You can't blame. He's a pig. But a human being has a brain to apply it and understand what to do, what not to do. So he should apply it and use the intelligence. Otherwise, it will be taken away next life. You will get the pig brain. Then you can do what you want. Then you can eat the stool. But in this life, human being is endowed with such a high facility to come to that level where he can engage in his constitutional position, relishing spiritual rasa. He doesn't want to do that. And that's why Vidvams chakre satata samitam, lokasya janata vidvams chakre satata samitam. Vyasadeva compiled Bhagavatam because of this. People don't know what is the actual substance which they are seeking. So being unsatisfied, jiva remains disturbed, unhappy and anxiety. Anyway, he is seeking that happiness. He is seeking it. But out of not having knowledge, he's gone for the wrong thing. So Bhagavatam is educating the jiva that. And education is not simply like, I am myself, I'll be honest, I am not educated. I'm still trying to understand because there's a lot to learn and there's a lot for intelligence has to be set properly in a proper position. This is not easy. This is not a quick thing to do, not quick fix, quick fun, something people will do. It's not like that. It requires sacrifice, patience, and apply your full intelligence and consciousness. You have to apply. You cannot do it half. Bhakti is not part-time. It's not something we'll do partially. Whole consciousness has to come in, intelligence and mind. And if we don't, then it will go to matter. It will go to matter, material things. So we had to learn to fully absorb it in spiritual pursuits. But that we cannot be convinced of that unless the intelligence is convinced. Otherwise, we are thinking, okay, I'm chanting, I'm reading, but I'll enjoy it, but this or that. So intelligence has to be convinced. Therefore, people get scared when they see Bhagavatam. One person, he asked me, I read Gita, what should I read? Bhagavatam. Okay, then he ordered the book. He was in another country. Then they brought it, and then he phoned me laughing. What is this? You know, Bhagavatam. Gita was one book. I thought Bhagavatam will come one book. But someone is bringing a box. You know, I didn't know what to do. But he came all the way from temple, then I took it. I would not have taken it. You know, I thought it's one book. Why is it so big? Then I told him, there's a lot to learn. What do you think? Religion will base on one book. Some religions are like that, based on one book. What will you put there? How? We need to know a lot of things. We need to understand our position. We want to understand God, how to know Him, what is our position, what is our duty, what is the effect of not serving, effect of serving Him, what is His energy, what is His avatar, what are His devotees. So much has to be known. You think it will fit in one book? I was telling him, you have to read Bhagavatam. You don't have time in this world. There is no time. As Prabhupada said in one lecture, Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days. We don't know he has 7 minutes. We have to be more focused than Parikshit Maharaj. In Bhagavatam it shows there that Parikshit Maharaj is sitting. Here he's given up all cloth. He's given up all his position. He's sitting facing Shukadeva Goswami, very near to him. You know, when will you sit and face near like that? When you're serious to hear. You're nothing, no other disturbance. Otherwise, like in the class, the back benches, sit at the back and sit. Pay attention, not pay attention. But here, Shukadeva Goswami sitting right, Parikshit Maharaj, sitting right in front of Parikshit Maharaj. In front of Shukadeva Goswami. Nothing should miss, not one word. Nothing should miss. I want to hear. What is it? What is this question? What is this answer? Serious student. Serious. So, he said very clearly, he wanted to understand. He was keen. So Prabhupada said, we have to be more serious than this. He was serious. We have to be more. Why? Because we don't know when we'll die. He knew when he'll die. We don't know. We have to be more serious. Not like that, much more. See how serious he was. 7 days, no eating, drinking. But don't worry, we'll serve prasad, because then you'll not be able to hear. You'll become weakened. But Parikshit Maharaj said, I didn't eat 7 days. He said in the middle of Bhagavatam narration, I didn't eat or drink water 7 days, but I'm able to hear. This nectar is more than that. That when we eat, we get some nectar. This nectar is more. I'm getting. So, serious student. But the jiva who does not know this knowledge, as I said, it's so voluminous. So much is there. Don't be afraid. Read it. If we are not able to get this knowledge, then we'll have to go for that lower energy, for the lower rasa. That is a very lamentable situation. Human form of life. We got the brain, we got the body, and then we misuse. So the jiva who's not getting the bhakti rasa is getting jada rasa, no happiness, no peace, disturbed state. It's a hellish condition. It's so hellish that people who relish Bhagavatam, they don't go back. They may go back because of weak-mindedness. They cannot fix, but they understand what that is they're missing, and they come back again, trying to connect. That kind of maybe. But they don't go back in the sense that mentally they don't go back that that's what I want. Inside they want something else, but maybe cannot attain. So that is the power of this rasa, that you'll forget that one. But rasa means, the taste means you have to properly set your consciousness and mind. For example, it is rasa, but I'm telling the dog, he's not getting it. He's not listening. Why isn't he listening? He's not got that intelligence. Consciousness is covered. So our consciousness is covered. We may not be able to take it, understand, and feel urgency to hear. Then you have to uncover it. Uncover it. Take prasad. Be in association of devotees. Kirtan, very important. Kirtan, prasad, and association of devotees. This will purify, then we can hear. Sukriti comes. Otherwise we cannot hear even. That's the problem. This jivas who are not absorbed here, they enter into material life with a very firm vow. Matirna Krishna Parata Satova Mito Vibhatyate Grhavratanam Punash Charvita Charvananam Adanta Gobir Vishatam Tamisram. Those who are taken a vow, I must enjoy this material world, they cannot become Krishna conscious. As much as somebody who is sleeping, pretending to sleep, you cannot wake him up. Cannot. So then he will not hear. You push him, you listen, this, he will not hear. Matirna Krishna, he will not get that consciousness of Krishna if he decided, I want to enjoy this world, I'll do this much bhakti, that's it. Matirna Krishna Parata Satoha Mitora Bibhadyate Grhavratanam Punash Charvita Charvananam. He's chewing that thing which there's nothing, there's no rasa. He got absorbed in that, but there's actually nothing is there. He did it so many times. Punash Charvita Charvananam Adanta Govir. His senses will never be satisfied. Adanta Govir Vishatam Tamisram. There will be no end to his desires. So that is a very hellish condition. And who knows that, who devotee who was there came into this and said, okay, I am not going back there. Especially some people, they suffer so much in life. Don't think suffering means, disturbed house and poverty. This is not suffering. That is also suffering. But suffering can be, I have the money, I have a good family, a good house, everything is there, but suffering because he is not satisfied. These things are not satisfying him. That is also suffering. And that suffering is sometimes more, very serious. People end up committing suicide. You're wondering, why? Everything is there for you. He had money, no, he's not happy. Prabhupada said poverty, this is real poverty. Devotee should help poor people. He said, who's poor? Not him who doesn't have money, without Krishna consciousness. That is suffering, can be very great suffering. And so, they, not knowing this, they go after that. Prabhupada gave it a word in Bhagavad Gita in one purport. He said, Mammonistic philosophy. Work hard, play hard. Work hard, because if you're going to do material sense gratification, you need to accumulate a lot of money and resources. It's not easy. Spiritual life is easy. Material life is impossible. Not possible. Not possible. Satisfy your senses. Not possible. How will you do? And you're satisfied. They want more and more and more and more. And where will you stop? You have to stop. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudam apa prapashanti yadvat Tadvat sa shantim avapnoti, yam kama pravashanti sa shantim avapnoti na kama kami. That the ocean is very balanced and still, even though every second water is entering from so many rivers all around the world. But ocean is remaining peaceful. So in that way, our mind will remain peaceful if all the desires come and we don't act on them. Not he who decides, I'll satisfy it. That will not lead to happiness. This basic intelligence we should have and be convinced, and then we will endeavor in that way. Otherwise, the people who have desired, okay, I'll work hard and enjoy. Work hard, you'll have to work very hard, but you'll not enjoy. The hard struggle to satisfy senses, because senses are not satisfied. And that work hard, yes, that is there, especially Kali Yuga. You'll have to work very hard to satisfy. But spiritual happiness is free. There is nothing to do. But Maya cheated that this is what I'll do, it's easy, that is difficult. No, that is easy. That is easy. You don't need money for bhakti. Simply offer fruit, flower, leaf, vegetable, Prabhupada. Whatever you do, do it for me. Whatever you give it to me. Bhakti is that way. Prabhupada said, application is difficult, process is easy. That now you have to fight your mind. That is the difficulty. Fight the mind. Actually, how to fight the mind? Offer it to Krishna. Don't fight it. Krishna, you deal. That's the way. Oh mind, just worship the lotus feet of Krishna, which make one fearless. So the mammonistic philosophy, that's not an option. And that we'll find out now or at old age. some time back, my father, who is not a devotee, he said that his sister, elder sister, which now must be over the 80s, maybe early 90s, just made a comment. She said, he told me, she said, we are born in this world just to suffer. Oh, very nice. You see, you will get it at the end. Don't wait for the end. Then you can't chant, you can't read Gita. You cannot do anything. You'll understand. But just listen to Bhagavad Gita. He's saying that it's suffering. Don't go that way. Just give up, just sacrifice this one material life. Engage in spiritual life. Don't go for material enjoyment. And otherwise, at the end, we'll realize. They realize, actually, that's the purpose. The suffering will be to bring us to that point. But just realize, just take Bhagavad Gita blindly. Understand that this was presented by so many great personalities. Just take it. Don't have to experiment. There is no time. And it's too dangerous. So we don't have knowledge, we are going for the wrong path. Here it's talking about rasa, introducing right in Bhagavatam in text 3. So people may not understand. It's a high topic, but that much we have to understand, that we are seeking rasa, and the rasa of matter is not really rasa, it's cheating. It's cheating. Sometimes you have mango juice, then you have something packaged, it's written mango juice, tastes like mango, but if you read ingredients, this is not juice. E20, E21, then there's some color, methyl orange, something. No juice. In one corner it's written juice, something like it's written with real juice, then ingredient 3% juice and 97% chemicals. So this is not the real juice. This is material one. It's cheating. So we say jara rasam, spiritual rasa, jara rasa is not ras, it's not ras, it's cheating, it's the copy, synthetic. So if we, actually the jiva, without knowing it, he's actually looking for Bhagavatam and he's looking for this taste. He's looking everywhere, he doesn't know. It's up to devotees to show them. It's up to devotees. We have to give them a taste. How? Harinam, Prasad, Kirtan, or one reading of Gita. Someone will hear and that's it. We met a few days ago, that boy, he said, how? I heard one lecture. I couldn't chant. He got in some wrong association, within ISKCON, but wrong association. Finally, how did he come on track? I heard a lecture of a ISKCON sannyasi. No doubt, practicing properly. Sannyasi, fully fixed. He heard his lecture. He said, that day I chanted 16 rounds. After that 16 rounds. So he went looking, where's that personality? Came looking here to us. So that they get the taste, they understand. This is the substance. That is not the substance. In the Purport Prabhupada is saying here that Sri Shukadeva Goswami, who described Bhagavatam from the very beginning, not whimsically to satisfy Mandina, who has very little knowledge. So he described Bhagavatam, and it says here one should conclude that the serious student of rasa should receive the message of Bhagavatam in disciplic succession from Srila Shukadeva Goswami, who describes Bhagavatam from the beginning. From beginning. He is describing Bhagavatam. Now what is the impact of that? Proper description, proper understanding. We have to understand how to act in this world, how to think, what to do, what not to do. We have to set our intelligence properly. Only then can we receive that rasa of bhakti. In the same way, like if I want to tune in and receive some signal, I need a proper device. Krishna is all pervading. Yata pravritti bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam. Krishna is pervading everywhere. Yata pravritti bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. In my unmanifested form, I'm pervading the whole creation. Krishna is everywhere. How to receive him? How to know? Krishna is in the heart. Why are we looking here and there? Sannyasi, it says, Prabhupada says in one lecture, the qualities of this divine and demonic qualities. So the divine qualities, what's the first one? Chapter 16, Bhagavad Gita. First quality is Abhayam Sattva Sangshuddhim, Abhayam, fearlessness. Spiritual quality, divine quality. No one is fearless except a madman who doesn't know what's going on, or a devotee who has full knowledge. So the sannyasi enters the jungle alone to travel and preach. He's fearless. Not because he's going to the gym and pumped up or he knows karate. Because he understands that everything is moving under the supreme order of Krishna. So if anything happens, I can't stop it. And if I want anything not to happen, if something is not happening, that is Krishna's will. So he goes, fearlessness. So how can you reach that stage? Through knowledge, proper knowledge. So the jiva has to come to knowledge. He has to come to knowledge to connect and get rasa. Now they're speaking about rasa, but the topic won't come again till 10th canto. Because it's introducing the concept after that, but you cannot get it now, not like this. You have to go through 9 cantos. You have to get it and understand. So it's building the receiver properly. You need a receiver to properly. So that intelligence has to be properly situated. How to situate the intelligence? Tattva, proper understanding. Yad shinvanta rasa jnanam sadhu sadhu pade pade. One who hears with knowledge, proper knowledge of rasa. So that knowledge is coming in Gita and Srimad-Bhagavatam. Proper understanding. Who am I? Who is God? What is this material world? This material world is not for my enjoyment. The creations of this material world, however attractive they may seem, they're not for my enjoyment. They will bind me to this world. Another chain, another chain, another chain. You want to enjoy? Another chain is tied, another chain is tied, and we are bound so strongly to this material world. And more binding means less understanding of spiritual. Then it's completely blocked. Like a jiva in a tree, he's so much bound up, he cannot understand anything. The consciousness is so covered. So the more we try to enjoy this material world, it binds us strongly. Yat anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam. So that binding is so strong. So we have to understand, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is explaining, this material world is not for enjoyment. What we see sense objects for enjoyment, Prabhupada said they're created for deluding the spiritualist. Different forms. And Prabhupada said the most formidable form of Maya is a form of a woman, which is binding. It binds us. It is actually to delude the transcendentalists on the path to spiritual realization. It is his quote. So Bhagavatam has to teach us. We have to understand. The intelligence has to come on that level to understand. Who am I? I'm not enjoyer, I'm servant. This material world is for Krishna's enjoyment. This is his energy. Let me engage it in his service. All my material things. Family, society, car, watch, phone. Engage in Krishna's service. This is meant for Krishna. We have to come to that understanding. Material world, what is it for? And activity. What is activity for? Activity is yajñathat karmano. We are supposed to act for Krishna with this body. Every action is for Krishna, should be. For devotee, his sleeping is for Krishna, his bathing is for Krishna, his eating is for Krishna. I'm speaking, but I'm not on that level. I was told many times to speak within my realization, but I heard it, so I'm saying that we eat, sleep, everything should be for Krishna, not for our enjoyment. So Bhagavatam is communicating that knowledge. Therefore, we cannot come to level of Krishna consciousness till we understand that point, and therefore Bhagavatam is so voluminous. And we shouldn't be intimidated. We should read it. We should get into it, and don't delay. When will you become Krishna conscious? There is no time. Material world is not our home. It's a place of suffering. Material happiness is not happiness. This is Bhagavatam, properly communicating. Actually, hints are given right in Gita, nicely. Proper hints. But if you didn't catch it, then here it's in detail. Arjun got it, but he was on a different level. He heard Gita, he got it. We didn't get it, so we read this. Now you read Bhagavatam, go back to Gita, see what a floodgate opens. The dam opens, all that. Knowledge, you are realizing, did I read this book? What happened? I read it. Why didn't I get it? Time again. Then Bhagavatam will give this knowledge that we need. And then only you can talk about rasa. Otherwise, we are talking about rasa now, but something is happening. It's entering, coming out. Even I don't know what's rasa properly. But by studying Bhagavatam, we'll understand. Intelligence has to be purified. Purification of intelligence. Intelligence is purified, then that means spiritualization. Then only we can perceive Krishna and spiritual things. It's purification of intelligence is essential because intelligence is next door neighbor to the jiva, soul. We are conscious, intelligence is there. So our intelligence has to properly understand what is what is not, what to be done, what not to be done, and convinced through philosophy properly. Actually, a Madhyama Adhikari, it says, what is the difference between Kanishta and Madhyama? He understands Shastra. We have to understand. Shastra doesn't mean we hear Prabhupada lecture in Gita and understand. Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, hearing from advanced devotees. So much to go through and read and understand. So intelligence is purified, then we must become Krishna conscious. When the intelligence, that's why through philosophy it's very good. But some are not philosophical, they can't read, this is a big problem. All we've seen in our preaching. Those who take up reading quickly, they get it very fast. Others, it takes time. You have to push, like the car is not starting. Push it, everyone come together, push, we're pushing. Read the book. Please read one page. Read little at night. Did you read the book? I read one page. Did you finish the book? I'm still reading. It's very difficult. Then it's hard. But when intelligence is purified, what happens? We are convinced. Then he becomes self-propelled. An engine starts, he'll go on his own. So that intelligence is not pure, then we start to think, I can do this, I should do that, this is it, this is good, I can do that, actually it's okay, I'll do this later. Spiritual life, I'll do it later. I'll not be so fixed, still I can be bliss. If things come down, I'll go back in the Sangha, devotees. But actually it means we didn't realize that actually intelligence is not purified, you cannot be Krishna conscious. Intelligence is next door neighbor to the soul. So if it's convinced, you must be Krishna conscious. And mind cannot misbehave, senses cannot misbehave, so important. In chapter 3, last verse, same thing. Evam buddhe param buddhva samsthabya atmanam atmana jahi shatru mahabaho kamarupa durasadam. Arjun, destroy this enemy of lust. Oh, I have problem of lust. We all have it. Birds, bees, all humans. How to deal with it? In the very beginning, curb this enemy of lust by knowing that the intelligence is higher than all and the soul is higher than the intelligence. Evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmanam. Please give me Gita. Last verse, chapter 3. Samstab jahi shatru mahabaho. Just get a copy. It's okay. All right. Jahi Shatru, the enemy. Conquer over the enemy of lust. How? Well, it's written in technical Upanishadic language. And which verses we look at it. It's saying, Krishna is saying, after describing lust in different ways, Evam buddhe param buddhva samsthavyatmanam atmanaha jahi shatru mahabaho kama rupa durasadam. Thus knowing oneself to be transcendental to material mind, senses and intelligence. That means don't engage in the mind, sense and intelligence in this material world. That is something different. We are transcendental. It's not part of our existence. O mighty Arjun, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence. Intelligence is material now. Spiritual intelligence means intelligence situated in Krishna consciousness. Thinking, acting in terms of Bhagavad Gita. Seeing through Gita. Everything through the Shastra, seeing through that. But that won't work till you read Gita, isn't it? You have to read. And read tomorrow, I read yesterday. I read it, I finished. No, read again. Because the spiritual intelligence has to be there. Then, thus by spiritual strength, conquer the insatiable enemy known as lust. Spiritual intelligence, Prabhupada writes. So we have to conquer, and so that's Shukadeva Goswami here. He's explaining Bhagavatam. It says here, not whimsically, from beginning, 9 cantos, so many verses, goes deep into the subject matter for our benefit. Samsara kupam patito tanavalamham. Samsara kupam karunaya patito utanavalamham. By His mercy, He has helped the jivas, us, who are in the samsara kupam, by speaking the Bhagavatam. Karunaya, such a mercy He gave us, that systematically He applied His mind, developed the Bhagavatam, spoke it, and came to that level, to bring us to that level where we can actually relish that rasa. So we're talking about rasa, but we have to situate our intelligence, we have to situate our consciousness, and for that we have to read Bhagavatam, understand, hear it, understand complex topics. Complex, but if you have mercy of Krishna, we'll get it. In our movement, there are people who did not do degrees, but they wrote books, which I heard from one senior devotee, that there's one author in ISKCON, he wrote the whole teachings, life of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So it was, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is not easy person to understand. That that because he will give the lecture, after the lecture everyone will listen, then they'll go to his foremost disciple and say, what did he speak? Then he'll explain it. So his philosophy is not easy to understand, his mission, his life. But this author wrote about it, analyzed, and even the language he wrote was so high that expression of one senior disciple of his said that in his native country there's expression that it was so high that it made even the educated people hide behind the chair. I cannot face that person. Anyway, it doesn't come in English properly. But the point is that personality did not do a degree, did not do some high material education, did not actually, as far as I know, complete class 10, 12. This does not depend on material education, depends on mercy. So don't worry, read. If you don't understand, keep reading, do bhakti, but read, and then we'll come to that level to understand. And then only we can become Krishna conscious, by understanding. Of course, bhakti is not depending on this knowledge. You can get mercy, but don't wait for that. Better apply yourself, read Prabhupada's books, get spiritual intelligence to come to the level to understand Krishna. Then you can talk about rasa. Hare Krishna. Any question? Yeah.
The question is actually like this. The jiva is rasa seeking or pleasure seeking.
Yes.
So if the jiva is refrain from material rasa, or any rasa, he'll seek rasa somewhere. So how to progress in spiritual rasa? You said like to develop spiritual intelligence, but it takes some time to do that. So how to make sure that we are not attracted by lower rasas and be situated on the pleasure, because inherently we are pleasure seeking.
Yeah.
So we seek,
but we don't have that knowledge, we don't have that taste. So yes, how to avoid this one? That is done. That's why you see in spiritual circles there's authority system and sometimes force is because beginning you have to be restricted by force. Beginning. Later advanced devotees move around alone and travel and preach. But in beginning they're not even allowed to leave the compound. Okay, I'm talking about bhaktas. But then even in any stage of spiritual life, in the beginning there are big restrictions because we don't have the taste, but everything is restricted in the beginning. We find that even in ashram they don't allow phones, they don't allow so many things. Restricted because they're not at that stage yet. Actually, a serious devotee will restrict himself whole life. Because as long as we have a material body, anytime we can relapse. Like Bharat was, not Jada Bharat, Bharat Maharaj was on the level of bhava. Still he got, pulled down again. So the answer to the question is that we have to voluntarily restrict ourselves from situations where we'll be put in that. For example, when I was beginning in ISKCON, attending lectures, so a few of them were complaining, you see, our friends go, they're drinking and they're pushing us to do that. And immediately the person speaking said, why did you put yourself in that situation? Why did you go with them? Why did you go there? What do you think they'll do there? What did they go for? So don't put yourself in that situation. Be careful what you're doing, what you're reading, what you're watching, where you're going. Don't put yourself in that situation. Restrict yourself. Best thing is put yourself in the middle of devotees. That's it. It's very hard in Kali Yuga. I don't understand. I don't know what else can help, you know. Regular close association is like a fort. So yeah, the answer is that in the beginning we don't have the taste, still we are attracted. So how to do that? So avoid that situation. That's one. Two, yeah, and put restrictions in your life. That's three. And three, I would say, is you associate with those who you see are on that level. Just associate with them, watch them, just be with them, serve them like that. You know, which means I'm talking about very senior devotees, not senior, you think someone senior to you, he's on that level. I'm talking about very senior devotees. So you observe them, somehow serve them, serve their mission. Then, yeah, that's the way.
Okay, so the rasa seeking propensity should be restricted by like deliberate restraints.
Is it not artificial?
No, okay, that's part two of the question. So now, anyway, we are seeking the rasa. Now we are blocking that. But at the same time, we must chant 16 rounds. We must read Gita. Even I'm not feeling like reading today. Read it. And the taste will come in the middle of reading, within few minutes. Enter the kirtan. It's boring. We're singing the same song every day. Just enter the kirtan. Suddenly it becomes happy. And after the kirtan goes, oh, it is good. It feels nice. So, block that one, forcefully do the other one. This is called sadhana bhakti. So once I heard this in a Bhakti Shastri class. What is sadhana bhakti? Forced remembrance of Krishna. You cannot do it by force. Mangal Arati, 16 rounds, 4 regulative principles, Bhagavad Gita reading, and these things forced, and then mind is situated. Yeah. Is it not artificial? No, it's not. But in a disease condition, it looks like. Yeah. Someone is diseased, he's thinking, this is fun. Why are you stopping me from drinking? What's wrong with you? I can't stop it. I'm addicted. So it looks unnatural, he's suffering, but actually he's conditioned that way. He has to be deconditioned. There'll be withdrawal symptoms.
So how to do it? Do it all together, cut it off,
No,
or do it slowly? Because both of it, if it is he is weak-hearted, and if he cuts down, then he will be like gone, totally destroyed. And then if he again slowly does it, there is every moment of going back again.
Okay, see now, look, you're talking now specifics that depends on the person, time, place, circumstance. Generally, I'm speaking. Generally is like this. See, generally is like this. Okay, generally is that sense gratification, material sense gratification is restricted. Okay, it's restricted by force in Vedic culture. It's restricted. At the same time, people do bhakti if they don't want. Children are forced. You must go to temple. You must bow down. Even child doesn't know what's going on. I'm in temple. What is that? And the mother takes him, puts him by force. Dandavat, and starts crying. What are you doing? You know, by force. And they're made to put tilak, then wake up. You know, for the arati, all these things. Don't eat out. You know, even the child putting a hand in the mouth. How the mother used to teach, hit it. Feeling pain, okay, don't do it. Even though I don't understand why I should not do it, I'm feeling pain, so I better not do it, I'll be hit. So, it has to be little by force, beginning, by force. Force yourself, it doesn't seem natural. Understand, accept Shastra that this is not correct, so don't do it, you know.
Other than being interdependent, what is more important? Kirtan, association of devotees, Mangal Arati, or chanting and reading when it's not possible?
Well, Mahaprabhu says, Krishna prema janmai e panchera alpasanga. Even one of them will awaken love of God. Simply, let's follow Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that follows in the ISKCON, what do? We try to rise early, chant, read, and associate with devotees. Keep this up regularly, it will be okay. I don't know. And now, more than that, it's specific. Not specific thing is per person. That I'll speak after. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai.